What if the most famous face of one of the biggest action franchises in history almost never made it onto a movie screen at all? What if the deep voice, the muscle, the confidence everyone associates with Vin Diesel were actually built on years of rejection, silence, and near invisibility? The story people think they know is simple: tough guy, fast cars, instant stardom. The real story is slower, stranger, and far more personal. And once you see it clearly, you start to understand that Vin Diesel's rise wasn't powered by luck or image, but by obsession, patience, and a refusal to disappear. Before the fame, before the franchises, before the global recognition, Vin Diesel was just another struggling actor in New York. No connections, no safety net, no clear path forward. He didn't fit neatly into the boxes casting directors preferred. Too ambiguous, too intense, too unconventional. He auditioned endlessly and heard nothing back. Weeks turned into months, months into years, and the silence was brutal. Have you ever worked towards something with everything you have, only to feel like the world isn't even acknowledging your effort? At one point, Vin Diesel came close to quitting acting entirely, not because he lacked belief in himself, but because the industry gave him no proof that belief mattered. Instead of waiting for permission, he made a decision that changed everything. If Hollywood wouldn't give him a role, he would create one. Not a glamorous one, not a high-budget one, just something real enough to be seen. With almost no money and no guarantees, he wrote, directed, produced, and starred in a short film about a struggling actor who can't get cast because of his ambiguous ethnicity. The project was personal, raw, and risky. It wasn't designed to impress executives. It was designed to tell the truth. That short film, created out of frustration and stubborn hope, quietly made its way to a major film festival. And that's where the story shifts. The film didn't make him famous overnight. It didn't turn him into a star. But it did something far more important. It made the right person notice. Steven Spielberg saw the short film and saw something the industry had missed: presence, authenticity, a kind of gravity you couldn't teach. Spielberg didn't just admire the performance. He rewrote a role specifically for Vin Diesel in Saving Private Ryan. Imagine being invisible for years, then suddenly being seen by one of the most powerful filmmakers in the world. How do you even process that moment? That role opened doors, but it didn't hand him a career. Vin Diesel still had to fight for relevance. He still had to navigate an industry that didn't quite know how to categorize him. Action hero, dramatic actor, voice talent, leading man. He didn't fit one lane, and instead of choosing, he leaned into all of them. That choice confused some people. It also set him apart. Then came a low-budget street racing movie that almost no one expected to become anything special. Fast and Furious wasn't supposed to redefine pop culture. It was supposed to be a modest action film, but Vin Diesel approached it with seriousness and loyalty. He treated the character of Dominic Toretto not as a stereotype, but as a code. Family, honor, belonging. Those ideas resonated globally, far beyond fast cars and explosions. Why do you think audiences connected so deeply to that character? Was it the action, or the emotional core underneath? As the franchise exploded, Vin Diesel made a move that surprised many. He stepped away at the height of its early success, not because he didn't believe in it, but because he refused to be trapped by it. He wanted control. He wanted long-term vision. That decision looked risky at the time, but later, when he returned with greater creative power, it redefined his role not just as an actor, but as a producer and architect of the franchise's future. Have you ever walked away from something good because you believed something better was possible later? Outside of Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel built an unexpected parallel career. His voice became iconic through animation. His presence expanded through science fiction and fantasy. He wasn't chasing awards or trends. He was building a brand rooted in consistency and loyalty. To fans, to collaborators, to the idea that success should be sustained, not consumed. In the middle of this journey, if you're finding value in stories that go deeper than headlines and reveal the human cost of success, take a moment to subscribe and leave a comment. These stories exist because people like you want more than surface-level fame, and your engagement helps keep them alive. What many people don't realize is how deeply Vin Diesel values family, not just as a theme, but as a principle. He keeps his circle tight. He protects his private life fiercely. He honors friendships long after the cameras stop rolling. The loss of close collaborators affected him profoundly, shaping how he approaches both life and work. Fame didn't harden him. If anything, it made him more intentional. When the world is constantly watching, how do you decide what to protect and what to share? Vin Diesel's rise also challenges a common myth about Hollywood success, that you need to be instantly likable, easily categorized, or perfectly marketable. His story suggests the opposite, that sometimes, being difficult to define is your greatest strength, that patience can be louder than visibility, that control matters more than speed. Today, when people see Vin Diesel, they see confidence, authority, power, but underneath that image is someone who spent years unheard, uncertain, and overlooked. Someone who learned that waiting for approval was a dead end, and that creating your own door was the only way forward. His rise wasn't untold because it was hidden. It was untold because it didn't fit the fantasy people prefer. So ask yourself this. If no one noticed your talent right now, would you stop? Or would you build something so undeniable they couldn't ignore it? Would you wait for permission, or would you create proof? Vin Diesel answered those questions long before the world knew his name. If this story changed how you see success, ambition, or persistence, make sure to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. And next time you hear that unmistakable voice or see that familiar presence on screen, remember what it took to get there. Because the rise you don't see is always the one that matters most.